So that segueing from there, there are things called humble brags, and I fucking hate a humble brag. I fucking hate a humble brag. I'm not a humble person usually. I'll toot my horn when I need to because I don't know if anybody else will. But this is genuinely one of the most profound things that has ever happened to me, to feel as loved as I have felt tonight, to know that there's a community that supports me, people that don't even really know my name. I'm Nicole, by the way. But I'll always be Gigi to you, and that's fine. To be loved on that level, to be told that I'm wanted, that my business is wanted, that we're desired to be here is a deeply profound honor, and I cannot thank you all enough for that. So thank you very much for donating tonight. And thank you, Laura, for dreaming up such a beautiful thing. So, as you can tell, I'm not from here. I'm from Tennessee originally. I think every single tell I've done, I've started off that way. I'm not from here. I'm originally from Tennessee. Lived in Atlanta for 10 years. Been talking to some lovely ladies tonight who are fellow nannies or have nannied in the past. I've been a nanny for 20 years, other than making ice lollies. So when I first moved up here to marry my husband, I've been told that what I have is transitional disorder, where I'm having a really hard time transitioning into being a wife, a mother, in a place I know nothing about, and the cultural shock is vast. You would think that Southerners and Minnesotans and North Dakotans would kind of have some in common because, we're a small town, we love each other, we have a lot of community, but there are passive aggressive. But there's vast gaps of cultural differences, one of which being the Minnesota nice. Boggles my fucking mind. I tell it like it is. I drop it like it's hot. If you need something to be told to you, I will tell you. I will do it in the kindest manner possible. I've at least learned some tact over the last 37 years. I hadn't always have had tact, but I say what's on my mind, whereas Minnesotans and North Dakotans tend to just kind of bury it under the rug and forget that it's there, and they let it fester and fester and fester and fester until boom! And you're like, what the fuck did I do to you? So that's a cultural shock for me. Grabbing my pearls. I grab my pearls a lot, like things that are like, oh, you guys really do that? You really do sound like that. That's really strange. Oh gosh. So, that's weird. You do sound like you're from Fargo. But that's what the story's about. The very first time I came up here, people would pick me out and make me talk for them. Oh, you're from the South? Oh, you're from the South? Would you just say something? Something. What do you call soda? Coke? Yell something out and I'll say it. Lots of people love to just listen to me say words, and biscuits and gravy, fried chicken, sweet tea. Oh, say it louder. Oil. Wash rag. Pardon? Grits. We actually had grits for supper tonight. That was awesome. Cheesy. Oh, that's another one. We have a lot of diphthongs in the South. Cheesy grits. So that's what we had for supper. So yeah, I sound different. And when I first got up here, it was very annoying that I would get picked out. I would ask for sweet tea when we'd go out to dinner. That doesn't exist up here, unless you sweeten it yourself. Or if there's even tea that exists in the building, oftentimes they don't even make it. it would annoy me to be picked out just to be asked to speak. But then I would go back home to Georgia and Tennessee, and I sound like everybody else. I'm like, well, shit. That's another one, shit. That was my first swear word, and I got thrown out of school for it. It was not my fault, like Landon. My mom set me up for disaster. It was almost every other word out of her mouth when I was a kid. So, yeah, when I got home to Tennessee, and my mom's genuinely, shit you not, sounds like Dolly Parton. We grew up about 45 minutes away from where she grew up in her little one-room shack with her family and the many coat of colors and all that. It's a true story. So my mom has done telemarketing, and she worked for police department answering phones for them, and works for the city now answering phones for them. And whenever people call and talk to her, they say, "Oh my God, you sound just like Dolly Parton." She says, "Why, thank you very much." So it's true. She does. She sounds exactly like it. And if any of my friends have had an opportunity to listen to me have a conversation with my mom, I prep coming to these events by having about an hour and a half long conversation with my mother. Because when I generally speak, and you can testify to this, when I generally speak, it sounds about like this. I don't have much of an accent. I spent a good deal of time covering it up throughout my youth, hiding that I was from Tennessee and Georgia. But when I get on stage, I'm nervous, I'm shaking, and the first time I did it, it came real strong on the Southern, and it went over like gangbusters. Everybody loved it. So I was like, well, there's my shtick. I'm going to be Southern, because it's not common up here. So I spend about an hour and a half every time I'm up here before a tell, talking to my mama, getting the Southern on. So when I go home and I sound like everybody else, it's kind of like letting the air out of my tires. And I'm like, well, that's no fun, because I don't get to stick out like a sore thumb and say sweet tea and cheesy grits and biscuits and gravy, and it get laughs in a room like it does in here. And that in and of itself, the fact that I'm seen as this unique person, that's not all I am. It's part of who I am, and it's part of why you love me, and the part of why you guys come and support nights like this, and you come to the corner while I'm standing there under my umbrella, and you listen to me talk, and you ask me to say sweet tea. And it's just part of who I am. It's just one of the facets, and it means so much to me that you would be willing to seek me out to say, hey, will you just say sweet tea? So thank you.